Okay, not a terrible start to kick off the postseason. We're 4-1 heading into this game between the Vikings and the Rams tonight. Let's see if we can close out Wild Card Weekend with a little 5-1 run heading into the divisional round. Sit back, buckle up. We got a side, we got a prop, we got a touchdown, as we always do. It's the final Monday night game of the season. Let's make it happen. Hey, Dave Loughy here on Twitter at Loughy_D. Hit your boy up if you haven't done so yet. And as always, it does me great displeasure to always have to ask, but it helps me feed the algorithm, goes a long way for us around here. If you don't mind, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. I thank you guys in advance. It's all free to do so. And as you know, I always try and read and respond to everything because, well, I like doing this stuff, and I appreciate you guys watching all season long. We got the Vikings, not at home. They should have been at home against the Rams. They're 2.5-point dogs, 48.5 points. I'm sorry, Vikings should have been on the road. Now it's just a neutral game. They're 2.5-point favorites, 48.5-point total. So look, let's lay it all out. It's the final game of the Wild Card Weekend, and it's a damn good one. This game's going to be played in Arizona at the Cardinal Stadium because of the widespread fires in LA, right? By the way, to any of you affected by this, thoughts are with you. That's terrible what's going on out there. I mean, just unthinkable, apocalyptic-like situation. The thing is, though, the line only moved 1 point, and it doesn't surprise me. I mentioned on the Picks for Every Game video that I do every Tuesday or Wednesday, so check that out right here on the channel, that like it's home field advantage, but it's not, right? Yes, it's an adjustment for these players. There's no doubt about it, but it's not like home field advantage in LA is Buffalo or Philly or Baltimore or Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? This Rams team has looked a lot different, though, than they did earlier in the year. You know, excluding the final game of the season where a lot of the starters were sitting, the Rams defense, they've allowed 24 total points over the last 3 games. And Matthew Stafford's been the big question mark here, no doubt. You know, he's struggling to effectively move the football. I don't think the decline of Cooper Kupp is helping him much there, but he's had an additional week to rest, along with his key playmakers and key defensive players. I don't think that's insignificant either, considering that the Rams and the Vikings both had byes in week 6. What does that mean? Well, it means that this is 13 straight games played for the Minnesota Vikings with no rest to the starters. They're coming off a game last week against the Lions. You've seen what the records look like for teams the following week after playing the Lions. Not great, Bob. Not only that, it's a grueling game. It's a grueling game against the Lions, and it's 13 straight weeks they're heading into now. Sam Darnold looked completely discombobulated in that game. Now, I'm not suggesting he's going to play as poorly as he did last week. Okay, it could have just been a one-off in a sense, but that was essentially a playoff game for the number 1 seed, home field advantage, and a first-round bye. And it was lifeless. You know, he was making poor decisions. One could argue that he was seeing ghosts. I don't know, man. That's concerning, considering, too, that Sam Darnold's never started a playoff game before. This is his first start in the postseason ever. I tend to lean on experience here. It worked for us with Josh Allen. It worked for us in multiple spots this week. Didn't work with Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks. I said I might be misreading this. That was the one spot I might be misreading this because Jaden Daniels just proves me wrong, and so do the Commanders. So I'm not surprised by that. This isn't a home game. I get it, but I mean, it's not really a home game. It's also not a home game for the Vikings, but I still like the Rams as 2.5-point dogs. You know why? Because I think this is an evenly matched spot, and I will take the experience here as we head into the divisional round next week. Whoever wins this game goes on to face the Eagles at the Link. That should be awesome. All right, let's get into a prop here. Tough to get to like props you love in spots like this, but I got one. I will say, the large majority of the props that I bet, I'm talking 100 plus, up to 100 plus props a day, all come from our portfolio EV tool. I can't say better things about this. If you ever wanted to check it out, and I know, by the way, a lot of you guys have because you jumped in my DMs asking questions about it. Welcome. I hope the results have been as good as they've been for me. Like, these are my results from December. And I say this to everybody because we got a promo going on right now where it's 60% off. Today is the last day. It's a flash sale. It's over after tonight. Today's the last day, 60% off. That means your entire month is $40. What's that mean? You have an entire month to try this out and to stick with it. I say that because here, look at what I have on the screen. Those were my results early in December. If you had started right at the top there, and you had no idea what to expect, and then the first like 5 days you went down and you gave up and you said, this isn't for me, you would have lost out on, for me, it was $6,200 in profit just from the portfolio EV tool, right? You stick with it for a month, you grind it out. This is a proven process. We have an EV results tool that shows you the historical results for every single market that we bet. You can place I bet every single bet from my cell phone, okay? Every single one of them from my phone with our mass entry tool. You can bet up to 20 bets on any book at a time. You just click it, it automatically loads them into your sports betting, into your book, and you submit them. It's amazing, guys. You get up to 100 bets or more a day with no time commitment. Watch the profits come in, 60% off. Today's the last day. We use a market-based process. We're simply picking apart the inefficiencies in the market and banging on these books when they mess up. If you have any questions, my DMs are always open on Twitter. Hit me up in the comments. But if it works for me, it'll work for you as well. And it's 60% off today, the entire month for $40. Link in the description and the pinned comment if you ever wanted to check that out. Let's talk about Puka Nacua, over 89.5 receiving yards, minus 113 on FanDuel. It feels chalky, right? But there's a couple reasons I like it. Now, maybe Sean McVay tries to get Cooper Kupp more involved in the offense than they have over the last quarter of the season, but I think there's more to it than that. It may not be just as simple as let's get Cooper Kupp the ball more. His separation has declined dramatically. He simply hasn't looked like the same ultra reliable, always open receiver and safety blanket that he's been for Stafford for years now. And Nacua is just the undisputed alpha in this passing game. If Cooper Kupp continues his decline, the weapons are highly limited and really inexperienced. A lot of them, outside like DeMarcus Robinson, you want to include Tutu Atwell, fine. Our free odds screen over on OddsShopper too has this over with a positive edge rating on FanDuel, just given the number here compared to sharp books like Pinnacle and others. And given the high total in this game inside of a dome with no weather complications to speak of, Nacua should just once again see heavy involvement all night long. It's not a play as much. Well, it isn't only a play on Nakua's ascension in the offense that we've seen all season long, even coming back after being on the IR. He came back in week 8 against this Vikings team. I'm like, he's not going to do much. Get 115 yards out of nowhere. But it's also a play on Kupp's precipitous decline. And yes, Brian Flores has a good and opportunistic defense, but they still surrender the second most yards to opposing receivers this year, the 4th most passing yards overall. Nacua over 89.5 yards, must win, do or go, win or go home type of football game in a neutral spot in a dome. Let's get should be a dome. Give me Nacua over 89.5 receiving. And of course, Jordan Addison, touchdown. Plus 155. You grab this on Bet365 or on FanDuel at plus 155. Of course, if you're not on Bet365, if you're in any of those states, as always, I tell you the link's down there. Get $150 in bonus bets just for signing up. Deposit $10, bet 5. The moment it settles on whatever bet you want, you have $150 in bonus bets. Let the cash roll in, baby. 21 years old. Gambling problem, call it text 100 Gambler. But I think there's an argument that Addison's touchdown odds should be closer to Jefferson's than they are. I mean, he's at plus 155 to score tonight. And we're talking about a guy who finished with 9 touchdowns despite missing 2 games, and he's racked up 7 scores over his last 8 starts. Jefferson's been the primary target in the end zone for Darnold when they get inside the 20, but we've now seen multiple games where Darnold tries to force the ball to Jefferson and they get, undesired results. Addison can convert big plays into touchdowns, but also considering the really significant increase in target share that we've seen over the second half of the season, I simply like this one quite a bit at plus 155. Again, it's an island game in the playoffs. A lot of these spots are going to be picked over. It's hard to find spots we love, but I'll go with that at plus 155. Give me Nacua over, and let's see if we can wrap up sides with a 5-1 run to close out wild card weekend. Rams plus 2.5. Guys, enjoy the game. Have a great night. Hit me up if you have any questions about Portfolio EV. We'd love to have you join. Jump in the Discord as well and start watching everything roll in. I mean, it's a beautiful process. Otherwise, I'll see you back here. Picks for every game. I think I'll do it tomorrow for the divisional round. Peace.